Well, it's wonderful to be here. Some of my best lifelong friends are sitting there. Picture this. It's 1959. Some of you may be in diapers. Some certainly don't even read the papers. What's happening? It's the Reagan era. We're in the midst of the Cold War. And my husband, Fred Sobel, is working on secrets for Hopkins. Also, Baltimore, a northern city in the south, or a southern city in the north, is in the process of desegregation. Since my memory sometimes is fuzzy, I went on the internet this morning to check the headlines for that year. And indeed, Baltimore is having issues. Some of the ministers are involved in desegregation. Now, we are a family, middle-class, professional. Fred, working on secrets. Me at home with the 3 children, doing part-time writing work for Williams and Wilkins. And we live in this modest little house at 1316 Register Avenue, Stony School District. It's in the Towson area. In front of the house, if you were to go by now, by the way, the house is appreciated, and it's very expensive. We don't live there anymore. Yours will too. In front of the house, you'll see a huge evergreen tree. It's about 3 stories high. Well, I planted that tree, and it was like this.
I know that tree.
We belong to the First Church downtown, a magnificent building with historical meaning, with great architecture, with an organ to die by. Now, the scene shifts. It's evening in our house, and 8 men are gathered for a meeting. This is a secret meeting. Among them is Fred, my husband, other gentlemen that have since died, and including your husband, George Stewart. They are there to discuss the possibility of the beginnings of the fellowship. Now, why are they meeting in secret in our little crummy house? By the way, I'm not involved in the meeting. I'm serving drinks. At that time, women did not usher, much less participate in big meetings. It was years before Ann Lee became our First Lady President. Well, anyway, the gentlemen are there to talk. They are to talk about the fellowship. Why a fellowship? And why at that time? Except for George, all of them have young families. Most of them living in North Baltimore or in the Towson area. And one of the things that we yearn for is to have more of a fellowship opportunity, to be closer to each other, to have the children able to visit with each other, perhaps even be in the same school. That's one reason. The other reason is that some of us are concerned about, some of us would like to reach out and have some black people in the community invited into our church. The minister, respected by some highly, he says, we are not ready for them. Well, some of us were ready for them. So from that point on, we went on to meet. Oh yes, and the minister threatens both my husband and George with consequences. Now, remember, this is the truth. My husband cannot be touched because he works for secrets. But George is a business person. And he's threatened with the possibility of having his business impaired. Well, both of these men who were on the board of the first church resign at that point and start organizing with vigor all the other people that later were to join and become the founding members. So in a way, they are the founding of the founding members. And every one of these men later becomes very active in the church in various capacities. Remember, we had to do everything for ourselves, including program. My husband, Fred, was vice president early in the game, and he was program chairman, and we had wonderful programs. We had the nerve to tap the best people in the community, from Hopkins, from all around, to come and share with us their thoughts and their concerns. Dr. Jerome Frank, a renowned psychiatrist, was one of our very first speakers, and he too was interviewed in our living room. I remember that story. So from then on, we went, and as I say, the men stayed very, very active. I must tell you a personal story. And, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that all my children were in the Sunday school. They all enjoyed it. They enjoyed it downtown, and they enjoyed it here. My husband became president, and that was because our second child, Christine, was mentally effort and energy on the part of both him and me. And since we had no family in town, our team was needed at home. So the office thing to have, he never got. Now, to conclude, what did I see at that meeting and the subsequent meetings that were not secret among the people that were founders? Well, I saw a lot of courage, because in the beginning nobody was encouraging us and everybody was sort of discouraging us. I saw courage, I saw bravery, I saw a need for independence. I saw a lot of dedication to thought, to planning, and to hopes. Now, I can only speak about the religious inclinations of Fred and me, and we were not religious. We were involved and ethical. We're involved and ethical. There are other people in the same small group that was working on the church before it became 30 that had a variety of opinions, that had a variety of thoughts, and probably different theological beliefs. But we were all united in wanting to form this new, family-oriented, meaningful, interactive church. One of the first things we did, once we did become a church, is to become active in the community. And our first minister, that's on the internet, became arrested for picketing when an amusement park was being desegregated. Many of our members were involved in creating the first day program for black children in Towson. So that was our early earmark. So from now on, we have to move on to other earmarks.